The Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup is into its final round, and with it comes a title showdown. Ryota Ogiwara versus Seiyu Ikegami in a head-to-head deciding last roll of the dice this weekend at Sepang. Last time out, Ogiwara took Ikegami out in race 1 at Mandalika, and it was Alphonse Dakigan who took a maiden victory for the Philippines, and whilst he doubled up in race 2 ahead of Ikegami, whereas Ogiwara, after his long lap penalties, could only come home in 6th. 30 points split the two. The title is guaranteed to go to Japan, but which way remains to be seen. It could be done today, but there will be plenty of names trying to get in on the action to finish 2025 with a flurry. Who's your bet on? Alphonse Dakigan is the rider in form. Ryota Ogiwara has a title on the line. Seiyu Ikegami can postpone his celebrations until tomorrow's race 2, but race 1 is coming up next. Good afternoon, live from the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia, where we may well have a new king in ATC in just about 40 minutes time. For the 7th time and for the first since 2022, the title will be decided in the final round, but will it come in the penultimate race of what has been an unforgettable season? Taking you through the action throughout the course of today and indeed tomorrow to close off this year, you're in the company of myself, Kiko Giles, and Elliot York as ever, and as has been the case throughout 2025, is alongside me. It's a big day for ATC, and in particular Ryota Ogiwara, a title that could have been wrapped up in Indonesia but instead goes to the final round of the year. He can get the job done today here in race 1, but will he?
That is the question everyone's asking, Kiko. Yes, good afternoon. Looking forward to this one, as always. In the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, we are expecting some brilliant racing coming up, both in race 1 and in race 2 tomorrow. From a neutral perspective, it'll be great to see the title go to tomorrow's race. We are obviously neutral up here in the commentary box, but for the number 16 on your screen, he will not be wanting that to be the case. He'll want the title wrapped up as soon as possible, and that is the question, isn't it, Kiko? A dramatic Indonesian Grand Prix last time out, where these riders went toe-to-toe. That final corner in race 1, I think we've only just about got over what happened. And then, to be fair to Ogiwara, in the second race, picked up that P6 after the double long lap penalty. A really good ride, a champion's ride, let's say, from Ogiwara in race 2. 10 points gained, though, for Ikegami coming into this one over in Indonesia. Will he be able to clinch that first victory of the season? I hope for Ikegami's sake he can win one of these 2 races, because he thoroughly deserves a race win this year. He's been one of the standout riders, of course, along with Ogiwara. But this is going to be very interesting indeed. Maybe some tactics coming into play, because at the end of the day, if Ikegami wins both races and Ogiwara finishes second, Ogiwara is still the champion. So Ikegami needs other players, other riders to be in that mix at the front.
It is going to be one to watch for sure. Ryota Ogiwara has already won 2 races here at Sepang from earlier in the season. He will go from pole position for the 2nd visit to this circuit in just a few moments time. He has 0.3 of a second over his main title rival. He is the favourite. P1 or P2, regardless of what Seiyu Ikegami does, will be enough, because on countback, if it does come to that tomorrow, if it is a tie, it has obviously been Ryota Ogiwara's 8 wins in 2025 that put him in the driving seat.
Exactly that, yeah. 30 points as things stand. Obviously 5 points less for second place compared to first, and as you rightly say, Kiko, on countback, Ikegami cannot equal Ogiwara's number of victories this season, so P1 or P2 does seal the deal for Ogiwara, and that's why I say Ikegami needs other riders in the mix. We've got Alphonse Dakigan, who will come to, of course, on the front row, your double race winner from last time out. That's why I say tactics are needed from the 40, and I'm sure he and the member of his team, and maybe some of the riders will have spoken about it, we don't know, but it's going to be really intriguing to see how this one plays out. We know the top 2 have the pace But if they finish first and second, no matter what order, then the title will not be going to Ikegami today or, of course, tomorrow.
Ikegami goes from the middle of that front row. The top two have had a bit of pace over everyone else so far this weekend. So Seiyu Ikegami is definitely going to need to deploy tactics, and it's something that we have seen throughout the course of 2025, of course, is that they do like slowing the pace down out the front, and we've had some bigger battles than what perhaps the pace has suggested. Last time out, Alphonse Dakigan, the first ever winner from the Philippines. He's on the front row again, trying to make it 3 in a row. Does he have the pace? I'm not sure. He's going to have a say in it, though, regardless.
Absolutely is. We do see in qualifying, compared to the two races, that the gaps can be a lot bigger than what they suggest. 2:17.3 for Ogiwara, a 2:17.6 for Ikegami in qualifying. The only two riders in the 2:17s earlier on today in similar-ish conditions, a little bit warmer. The clouds have just started to roll in here at the Sepang International Circuit. I'm not going to say we're not going to get rain because I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, the conditions are pretty similar. Dakigan, though, front row is what he would have wanted, first and foremost, and the 22, if he can get a good start, I think will be in the mix throughout.
Seiyu Ikegami's only previous win has come back at Motegi. That was in 2024. He has actually finished P2 in every single race, even when Ogiwara made a mess in race 1 last time out. It obviously took out Ikegami as well, and in race 2, Dakigan doubled up to deny Ikegami again. So whatever Seiyu Ikegami does, it doesn't seem like he can cross the line first. He needs that to happen today.
Yeah, and that's why I say I do hope, whether it's the championship or not going into Ikegami's hands, we're not biased in that sense of here, but it would be nice to see Ikegami. He deserves a victory for his performances this season, but to be fair to Dakigan, in race 2, when the victory was on the line, he delivered on the number 22. So it's going to be interesting to see how much Ikegami wants that win and whether he's thinking about the championship or not, or he might concede in the latter stages, who knows.
The number 2 of Haruki Matsuyama heads up the second row of the grid. A podium at Buriram with P3 and a double rostrum last time out from pole position. 2 top 5 finishes last time out in Sepang earlier this year, so he's got good form as well. Having a look at the number 26, that is of Brody Page, who goes from the middle of that second row. Keep an eye out for him. And Tyrone Fleming completing that second row. The number 10, here he is, a real joy to watch last time out in Mandalika, looking to try and get that podium.
Yeah, he certainly is. Currently P8 overall in the championship standings, as you can see. Has missed the podium on a couple of occasions this year. He'll be dealing to hope to promote himself into the top for the first time in a race this year, and why not give it a podium as well. Bodie Page is a really exciting prospect too on the number 26, the young Australian. He's only competed in 2 other events this year, over in Qatar and then in Indonesia last time out, and has been well inside that top 10 on both occasions and really in the mix. So starting from the middle of the second row, watch out for Page.
We're looking at Nopapung Bumpraway, the number 20 at the head of the third row, moving up into P5 in the overall standings last time out. And really, he's just trying to finish his season on a high. 1 podium from Buriram when he was P3 in race 1. This will be his 15th start in the class.
Yeah, Davino Brittani is up next. Sitting just outside the top 10 overall is the Indonesian, which also makes us come on to Badli Ayatullah, who is unfortunately missing still, the other Indonesian rider. We continue to send our best wishes to Ayatullah, who was on the podium here a few months ago when the Asia Talent Cup visited here for round 3 of the season before the flyway stretch in MotoGP.
Not the end to the season that he would have wanted, but we wish him well and we hope we see him back here, if not in the Asia Talent Cup, somewhere else in the world of motorcycle racing, because he has a massive, massive talent. Well, this is your starting grid. We've taken you all the way through the top 8 riders on the grid. Pranata is back. Bintang Pranata there in 9th place. Shingo Hidaka, his worst qualifying of the year, down there in the 4th row of the grid in 10th, ahead of Sarthak Chavadu, who is back with us. And Archie Schmidt from Australia, who completes it. Pratham Tong is right there in 13th place, ahead of Hote and Min Jae from South Korea. Right at the back, Shaf Muriz just behind Shen Shiyu, our only female on the grid, looking to add to her points tally in 2025. The warm-up lap then is underway here at Sepang, and it is a title decider weekend. Will this be a title deciding race? You're joining myself, Kiko, Giles and Elliot York up here in commentary, and good to see a good amount of fans have stayed with us after the Tissot Sprintermoto GP for what could be the conclusive race in the title race for the 2025 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. If not, 9:35 tomorrow morning local time, that will be when we do see who the new king of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup is going to be. El, this is a long track, the longest track on this Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup calendar in terms of length and in terms of lap time. It's wide. We are expecting a big slipstream battle. What are and where are these hotspots, these pinch points that we so often talk about here at Sepang?
Well, there's plenty of them, isn't there? The slipstream comes into great effect throughout any class, really. I spoke to a few Moto3 riders, and the slipstream can basically earn you up to around about a second, so it's crucial for riders to get a good start and go with the front pack if they want to have a chance to finish on the podium. But you've got the likes of turn 1, of course, the final corner, turn 15, 2 very popular passing manoeuvres, long straights. Of course, the front straight is pretty much a kilometre long, but turn 4 is a great passing opportunity as well. Turn 9, again, tight left-hander hairpin, you can easily pass there, and I'd say going into turn 14, get a run through turn 12 and hook it right through 13, and getting underneath someone at turn 14 to just make them go offline or cost them a little bit of an edge going up the back straight can be a good move as well. But this Sepang International Circuit has a little bit of everything, provides great racing no matter what class comes here, so I'm really looking forward to this one to see how it plays out.
We are just coming around at turn 14. This is going to be vital right at the end of the race, because it is where we see so much of the action, and then it's the run down to turn 15, the final corner, reprofiled about 9 years ago to encourage overtaking. The ATC guys and girls do not need any more encouragement for the overtaking, but it's a long old back straight. Whoever leads out of turn 14 is not necessarily going to be the winner, but there's just enough room coming out of turn 15 to repass by the line. Last lap strategy going to be key.
Yeah, absolutely, and we know that turn 15 has lots of different variations of racing lines. You can go up the inside and make a move, but that can cost you a little bit on exit, so don't be surprised to see 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 different lines going through turn 15 lap after lap, and it's a long race as well here, 15 laps around this 5.5 kilometre long circuit. Watch out for that one, because tyre consumption and also fitness in these punishing conditions is going to come into play.
Quickly, prediction, who's it going to be?
I'm going to go for Ikegami to win race 1, finally get that victory in 2025. What about you?
I'm going to go Ogiwara. He's got 8 wins so far in 2025, and he has the title within his grasp. He will not want to make the same mistake he did last time out in Mandalika in race 1. He's going to look to get it over the line. Red light, we go out and we are racing at Sepang. It is a great start from Ryoto Ogiwara. Well, he is going to get the whole shot down towards turn 1 then. Seiyu Ikegami straight away in his slipstream. We've got Matsuyama, who's already got ahead of Dakigan, and it's the number 30 of Pranata, who is coming through into the podium places already by turn 1. But Ogiwara, it is who gets the whole shot. Now, this turn 1 is tight here at Sepang. Turn 2 is even tighter, so hold your breath and hope they all get through. There's a bit of bumping and boring as they come through that second turn, but I think everyone's through cleanly. Yes, they are, and now it's through the downhill sweeper of turn 3, through the right-hander, and turn 4, your first big overtaking opportunity. Will Ikegami try and strike early doors? Not this time. Ogiwara, clean as a whistle from pole, leads through the opening sector.
What about that from Pranata, from P9 on the grid all the way up to P3 on the number 30. That's a fantastic start. Ikegami on the 14 did try have a look up at turn 2, up the inside of the championship leader and his title rival, of course, but he's just got to latch on to Ogiwara now, and let's see if the chasers can go with the top 2 on lap 1.
Let's see if Ikegami wants to make a block pass, maybe down towards turn turn 9, but we'll have to wait and see. We're coming through this double apex right-hander, turn 7 and 8. This is down towards turn 9 where we're talking about. You can see all the bits of rubber from the previous classes and day's action just off the racing line. That's not going to disturb any of these guys. Big pinch point coming through up the inside. That's the number 21 of Hidaka from 10th on the grid's already up in towards the top 4 places. He settles for 5th. He's just ahead of the 26 of Bodie Page and just behind Prenata, who had that foul start. Oh dear me, that is a big crash. That is down and out for Hidaka, and Bodie Page, I think it was, who tagged him at the back. So Shingo Hidaka had a lightning start, and it has ended in the gravel on lap 1. That's what happens when you put yourself downfield, El.
Yeah, 2 riders going for the same piece of tarmac there. It did look like it was Bodie Page on the number 26 who made a slight mistake, and Hidaka unfortunately trying to go round the outside. Contact was made and down Hidaka went. That could be race over for the number 21, but as you say, Kiko, if you don't qualify well, that's the danger you can put yourself in the middle of the pack when you're fighting for position on lap 1 as the 14 makes a move at the final corner.
At the inside to take the lead at the end of the opening lap. Seiyuu Ikegami knows what he needs to do. He needs to deploy tactics here. It's Japan 1, 2, 3 because Haruki Matsuyama is right there as well. Across the line, Ikegami leads them ahead of Ryota Ogiwara. Then it's Matsuyama, Prenata, Dakigan, your double winner for Mandalika. Then it is the number 10 of Tyrone Fleming and the 20 of Bumperway. Ogiwara managing to get back ahead into the braking zone and leading one more time at turn 1.
So they were threatening to clear off then the 16 and the 14, but you can see there the group have peeled their way back into contention. Matsuyama recovering well from not a bad start necessarily, but he just lost a little bit of ground on the opening lap, but he's clawed his way back into P3, and look, he may be making a move at the inside of Ikegami's compatriot at turn 4. No thinks better of it, but he's right there.
And just out of this group, brilliant start by the number 6 from the back of the grid. Shaft Muriz is now up into the top 8. Oh, that's a disaster for Nelson Cairoli, who has crashed at the final corner. The number 17, you can see the scuff marks on his left-hand side. He's not the first, and he certainly will not be the last at turn 15. One of the trickiest corners on the calendar, and he has unfortunately been caught out by it. But look at the brake train we have at the front here. 7 riders, it's a 14-wheeler. It goes from Ogiwara, who leads, all the way back to Tyrone Fleming, who is the number 10 in P7. Let's see if Ikegami wants to roll it through up the inside here in the braking area. He thinks about it, but can't do it. So Ogiwara holds on this time around again.
Yeah, it's in Ikegami's best interest here to try and get to the front and maybe hold the gap up. He wants as many riders in this as possible to try and take as many points off as possible of Ogiwara. On the other hand, the race leader, number 16, wants to try and clear off here to eliminate any possibility of as many riders as possible who can take points off her. This is really tactics at play. Both riders at the front needing opposing situations to play out here as Ogiwara continues on his way. But I think Ikegami, if he can, will want to make a move as soon as possible to try and control the race from the front.
Oh, we've got a long lap penalty coming in for Bodie Page for causing a crash. Well, it was him who took out Shingo Hidaka at turn 11, so it wasn't intentional, but it has ended someone else's race. So Bodie Page is going to find himself doing the long lap penalty loop. Up the inside, Tyrone Fleming is trying to come through into P5, but you see what I mean about that final corner. You can be on the inside, but also run it right the way around the outside, and in that case it is Bumperway who just about holds on to that P5. They come across the line one more time. Ogiwara the fastest lap of the race. It's only by about a 10th. Ikegami's on his inside down into turn 1, but Ogiwara's too strong on the brakes and gets it done through and into P1. Ikegami looks like he's got the pace, Matsuyama as well, but let's see what happens if and when Ogiwara wants to put the hammer down. It's not in his interest for a very big group at the front.
Exactly that, and it's already playing into Ogiwara's hands, really. The top 5 on that last lap set pretty similar times, as you mentioned, Kiko. Ogiwara set the fastest lap at 2:18.1, 2:18.3s for the rest of him, down to Bumperway in P5, as we see this battle for P5 unfolding now, and the number 20 Bumperway still leading that, but if they continue to battle away like this, they're going to lose touch on that podium fight, as they are already doing.
Yes, and Prenata is back to 7th place. You'll see along the bottom of your screen on our ticker there, Bodie Page. It's not just one long lap, it's a double long lap, so a very hefty penalty. Oh, that's getting tight up at turn 6. So Bodie Page, this is the incident, we're going to see it. This is on lap 1. El, talk us through it.
Yeah, I think Page Page, looking from this angle, is just a little bit too optimistic on the brakes there down into turn 11, and yeah, understandably so. That is at least a long lap, and the stewards have decided it is a double long lap penalty. Lap 1, you can understand the eagerness of trying to make your way back through the pack, but yeah, completely wipes out Idaka, unfortunately. Bodie Page will probably accept that being a mistake, so yeah, thankfully for Idaka, he's all okay, but understandably a double long lap penalty.
Disaster for Idaka as well, because he was looking at trying to retake third in the championship race after Alphonse Dakigan's double last time out. There was 15 points between them, and now with just one race remaining, looks like perhaps Dakigan is going to wrap it up himself. We saw just up the inside there at turn 14 that Ikegami was having a look at Ogiwara, tried to get the pass done, but then just rolled out of it ever so slightly. So there's still there's no clarity in exactly Ikegami's strategy. He'll want to hit the front, but it's whether or not he can, because don't forget Ogiwara has been a pass master here at Sepang. Up the inside, Dakigan gets that P3 nabbed off of the number 2 of Matsuyama. Ogiwara on a slightly different line that time around to Ikegami. These front 4 have got a decent gap now from 4th back to 5th, and Bumpuay is trying to break clear, but he can't do just at the moment. 4 abreast they go down towards turn 1, and I tell you what, Alphonse Dakigan is going through to lead this. Let's see if he gets it stopped. Ikegami has gone through into 2nd place. Ogiwara relegated to 3rd, but as things stand, that's still enough to get the title done today.
Yeah, exactly that. Great bit of slipstream gathered up there from Dakigan to take the race leads. Final corner, you saw just how many different lines can be taken. There is the live championship standings, 26 points with a race to go. As you guys will know, hands the title to Ogiwara, but things are going to change very quickly, and they already are doing. Ogiwara responds, a good move up the inside of turn 4.
Ikegami now will look to try and get back, maybe not too keenly, but he'll definitely have a think about it if he thinks he's got the pace to do so. Can't get it done at turn 5. I tell you what, Ogiwara's mid-corner speed. Well, what about that? What a fantastic move that is from your championship leader. He carried some mumbo right the way through turn 5, got the job done on the inside at turn 6, and Alphonse Dakigan perhaps caught a little bit by surprise. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Ogiwara wants to get the hammer down now with a rider between himself and Ikegami. I'm not sure he's going to have the opportunity to, because Dakigan is already letting the brakes off and coming through up the inside. Ikegami as well, threading the eye of the needle. So we are back as it was at the start of this 4th lap here. It is Dakigan, Ikegami, Ogiwara, and don't rule out Matsuyama. And look at the 20 of Bumpuay. It is back as a 5-rider, 10-wheeler group at the front.
Yeah, Bumpuay has taken over a second out of this group in the last lap, and he's now, as you can see, right with the front 4. Good stuff from the number 20. I think Ogiwara made his intentions very clear in what he wants to do in this race with that fantastic move up the inside. Well, out around the outside at 5 and into turn 6. He wants to lead this race from the front. He wants to control things, and he wants to take this title as soon as possible. But it's not going to be easy as that.
And I tell you what, Ogiwara in the middle of this group, the number 16, will be very aware of the riders around him, and he won't want them to be making any major lunges or any big mistakes and running him out wide, because any of that, and he's suddenly lost all the power he has in this group. Another lap ticks on by. We're looking at the championship leader, who is going to try and slipstream his way through on Ikegami and the 22 of Dakigan. 3 abreast once again down towards turn 1. Ikegami's got ahead of Dakigan. Does Ogiwara want to get it done as well? He gets 1, but he can't get to P1. Ogiwara has to settle there for P2. Ikegami it is now who leads the way.
Certainly is. Don't rule out as well Fleming and Pranata, sorry, in the background. You can just see them coming into picture there. Pranata set a 218.8, 218.9 for Fleming, and the top 4, not including Bumpuay, he was also in the 218s, were in the 219. So with this battling going on, they're costing each other time at the front, and that's bringing in the number 10 and number 30 into the podium equation as well.
It was a personal best for Bintang Pranata last time around. 5th place for Nopapung Bumpuay. He was the fastest rider in this top 5. So just keep an eye on the riders right the way through the field here. I can tell you, Ikegami versus Ogiwara, it's those 2 at the front, as you can see. 14 versus 16. Dakigan there in 3rd. He's got Matsuyama for company as they come through turn 7. Keep it on the side of the tyre through 8, and then down the hill towards turn 9, and a heavy braking opportunity. I'll tell you what, they might have been a little bit cautious so far in this race, but if it comes down to a last lap scrap, they will not be so cautious. They will definitely throw caution to the wind, particularly down there at turn 9. Great camera over at turn 10. The ground cam really getting a sense of speed through there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all this part of the circuit is fantastic. No matter where you watch from here, the Petronas Sepang International Circuit, I should say, it provides fantastic viewing. The top two, though, are just breaking clear slightly. Have they pulled the pin on this lap around? We're going to get the lap times, of course, at the end of the lap. I know Bumper Away potentially made a little bit of mistake in sector 1, just cost himself a little bit of time, dropped around half a second back. You can see there on the number 20, just hanging around about half a second behind the number 2 and the number 22 of Dakigan and Matsuyama. But Ikegami still leads the way, and that is getting it wrong for Matsuyama.
And that is not what Ikegami would have needed, is this group fragmenting just a little bit more. So that was in deep and sideways on. He was lucky to not get that in the gravel, but Haruki Matsuyama has now given himself a whole load of work to do. He's right behind Bumperway now in the battle for fourth. In fact, he's just got ahead of him down in the slipstream battle into the braking area of turn 1. Fastest lap of the race last time around by Seiyu Ikegami, 2:17.6 versus a 2:17.7 for Ogiwara, and behind that a 2:18.5 for Dakigan. So Ikegami, I mean, Ogiwara won't be complaining at this. If he's going to stretch the field and it's going to be a head-to-head scrap, then Ogiwara's going to welcome it. He doesn't need to finish first, he just needs to finish in P1 or P2.
Exactly, just keep your head behind the bubble and keep behind the number 14 of Ikegami, and Ogiwara will be the champion this season. That 2:17.680 is, give or take, 11 thousandths of a second, exactly what Ikegami managed to do in qualifying. So they're setting qualifying pace at the top 2, but fair play to Dakigan. He's digging in and he's going with the top 2.
Don't forget, we've had difficult weather right the way through this Malaysian GP weekend, and particularly I think one of the victims of that have been the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup field, because they had a disrupted running yesterday in their first session. It was raining during that. It was raining for their second session. Qualifying today has been completely dry, but of course the more track time they get in the dry, the quicker they are going to go. So at the moment, I'm not surprised to see the times dropping a little bit further towards qualifying pace. We are just about at half race distance here. Ikegami is leading, Ogiwara is in P2, and it is in a championship winning position for the number 16 as it stands. Alphonse Dakigan looking to try and have his say there in third place. He needs to get ahead of Ogiwara and stay behind Ikegami if Ikegami is to take the title fight to Sunday morning. And behind them it is Matsuyama and Bumperway, but they are just starting to be detached now. That group of 5 is fragmenting, and it is becoming just a lead group of 3 at the front. As you can see, crisscrossing from side to side, 3 abreast in the braking area. Ikegami is shaking and rattling and rolling that through into turn 15, just about gets it done. Dakigan was briefly ahead, but the 2 Japanese riders ahead of him good on the brakes, and it's as they were just a few moments ago. Ikegami, Ogiwara and Dakigan, but don't write off Dakigan just yet. He's looking on the outside, wants a bit clear air, perhaps a bit more braking room. Side by side for the race lead, maybe 3 abreast into the braking area. Does Dakigan get it done up the inside of both? He gets up the inside of one, and I think Ogiwara was wise to that and let him have it.
Put the flag out now, and Ikegami will be taking the title to the final race of the season tomorrow. That can change in an instant, of course, but I'm just wondering when, if Ikegami at all, looks behind him, see what the state of play is, see how many riders are in this battle. That is Bodie Page, I think, unfortunately, who has potentially crashed out of this one, trying to get his bike going, whether it's mechanical or a crash. It looks like it could be race over, unfortunately, for the Australian.
Thankfully for the number 26, his double long lap penalty has been completed, so no such dramas for him. It won't be carried on to tomorrow. As you can see, back at the front, whilst we were away and looking at Bodie Page, we have Dakigan who's back ahead. So the rider from the Philippines has grown in stature really right the way throughout 2025. And look at this, I tell you what, the pace is all over the place, because we were 2:17.6 just a few laps ago. It's 2:19.4 last time around. So Ikegami and Ogiwara are not at their ideal. And I tell you what, Ogiwara's finding himself down a little bit here in 4th place. That's Bumperway who's come through on the number 20 into the podium positions. Ikegami knew he had to keep hold of that, so as it stands, we would have a title race going down to Sunday, and our final race of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup season. Coming through turn 11 then is a 10-wheeler again. Dakigan is your pace setter and race leader. Ikegami, bumper away. Championship leader Ryoto Ogiwara not in a title winning position as it stands, and he has got Haruki Matsuyama climbing all over him. Matsuyama just wanted to get on the podium, likewise chasing that first class victory. So there's a lot of reasons for this front five to be going for their own personal goals here and not necessarily thinking about those in contention for the title. And you'll be able to see Tyrion Fleming and Pranata, Bintang Pranata, they're starting to latch back onto this group now. So Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, just when you thought it was going to be easy and clear cut, ha, what do we know? Coming out of turn 15 and down across the line, we're going to have 4 laps to go.
Certainly are. I think Ikegami then knows what the state of play is, what we were talking about a lap or so ago. He knows bumper away is certainly ahead of him now, but he knew he was in the mix anyway. He's got Ogiwara right behind him. Ogiwara also now knows that there's more riders in the equation here, and as Kiko rightly says, do not rule out Fleming and Pranata just behind this group. This is playing into the hands of Ikegami, but he needs to make sure he finishes ahead at least of Ogiwara and has a rider or two in between them. You can see there, put the flag out now once more. Championship goes to tomorrow.
Tell you what, Fleming and Pranata were 2 of the fastest riders in this league group of 7 last time around, so the pace is oscillating here at the front. There's not a lot to split them. I don't know whether that's because tyres are wearing off. It is hot out there, it's humid out there. Maybe the riders are finding it a bit tough as well, but they're used to racing over in this part of the world. They're particularly used to racing in Malaysia. They've already been here earlier in the season, so let's see what we've got. I wonder if there's a bit of sandbagging going on here at the front, perhaps. Dakigan is still your race leader, and he's got no, I don't know, no corner ready to fight on. He's just doing his own thing. He's looking to consolidate P3 in the title, something he would do, and that is not to be sniffed at, the bronze medal in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. Side by side for second. Oh, where's Bumperay going? He's going up the inside into P3 ahead of Ogiwara. So the Thai rider just dispatches the Japanese number 16 back to 4th place. And Ikegami stays there in second. Matsuyama keeping his powder dry at the moment there in 5th place. Well, everywhere you look, there's a battle. Fleming looking over his shoulder, and he sees Bintang Pranata right there as well, the Indonesian rider who made a stunning debut last time out as well at Mandalika. Dakigan it is, though, comes through turn 14, and he's going to be punching a hole in the air for the opposition.
He certainly is. What's Ikegami going to do then? He's just lost a little bit of touch there on the number 22 ahead of him. He's not got a great run out of that turn 14 either, as the number 14. Bumpare fancies a whole load of that going into the final corner. Ogiwara 2 just on the outside of the 14. 3 abreast they go into the final corner. 3 laps to go when we cross the line. Thinks better of it, Bumpare. Ikegami, fantastic on the brakes, isn't he? You can see the varied lines coming out of the final corner. 3 laps to go. This is anyone's race in that top 7.
It really is, and I tell you what, there'll be the riders such as Tyrion Fleming, Haruki Matsuyama, Bintang Pranata. They are all going to be wanting to get in the podium. That means they're going to have to go through Ogiwara, and Ogiwara could really do without that. Up at the front, through comes Ikegami. He's going to lead this one. So at the moment, the difference between 1st and 4th, that's Ikegami and Ogiwara, is 12 points. We would definitely go to Sunday if things stay like that. But do you think they're going to do? The Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup has already had 7 podium finishes in 2025, and I think there's a few riders in that group that want to add their name. I'm looking back towards the 30, I'm looking towards the number 10. Coming through, Ogiwara gets it done at turn 4. That's just going to be enough. Runs out to the curb, keep an eye on Bumpaway, maybe trying to sweep around the outside, and watch out for Matsuyama as well on that extreme inside at turn 5, but he can't get it done. Ogiwara back in the podium positions, but not in a title winning position.
What's your plan then, Seiru? You've now hit the front with 2.5 laps to go. Are you going to pull the pin, knowing that there's a lot of riders behind, and hope that they can just get in between yourself and Rata Ogiwara, who we're focusing on now? Or do you continue to try and hold the pack up? Is he going to have a look behind soon? Not sure. He's probably in the groove and in the mood to try and go on this, win this race. Maybe he just hopes that other riders can have a go. As things stand, you can see 21 points it would be going into tomorrow. Still a commanding lead for Rata Ogiwara going into Sunday. Monday, but Ogiwara is now starting to respond, isn't he? Ikegami looks like he's potentially pulling the pin. 3/10 it was through the second split. They're coming through the third split soon, but Ogiwara is going to be hunting P2 and maybe making a move on this lap.
I've got to say, if I was Ikegami, and of course I am not, that's why I'm up here in commentary, I wouldn't be going this early. I know he needs to keep clean and he can't be risking himself being clattered into in a final lap shootout. As we were saying, there are riders with their own personal objectives to close off 2025, but maybe with just over 2.5 laps to go, it was a little bit premature, because now, as you can see, Ogiwara is going to try and come through on Dakigan. Doesn't get it done this time, but you get the feeling it's a matter of when, not if. And I look back to other Talent Cups, the Northern Talent Cup with Finn Kratochvil. It's not the fact he's won so many races and has done a class record over there in the NTC, it's how he's won. He's always come good right at the end of races, and you can see the fastest lap of the race for Ikegami. That's just spread this pack out. That's not what he needs, because Ogiwara is coming through up the inside of Dakigan and gets that job done. So back into a title-winning position on the penultimate lap. Ryota Ogiwara takes P2 away from Dakigan.
That might be the championship-winning move. Who knows? We'll find out in under 2 laps' time. Ikegami at 2:17.480. That's faster than he went in qualifying. He has pulled the pin here as Ikegami. I'm just wondering what these tactics are, because the 14 now isn't going to win the championship if it stays like this. Under 2 laps to go. He needs these riders in this group to overtake Ogiwara, but Ogiwara is now starting to get back into his rhythm, and once he's got some clean air, it's going to be really hard to overtake the 16.
Exactly that. And the other thing for Ikegami is that it's not a winner-takes-all situation. He does not hold the cards here. He can't even, you know, push Ogiwara into a mistake, because Ogiwara doesn't need to be pushing for the victory. He can just sit quite happily where he is in P2 at the moment. Maybe Ikegami's going to get a board on his pit board here. A nice little message just to say, slow down a little moment here. Give everyone else a chance. You never know what can happen. If you have that title opportunity, yes, it might not always be in your hands, but that's why it's got to be open.
I also think potentially Ikegami is like, right, I've held it up enough, now I just want to go on and win this race, and whatever happens, happens. We spoke about it, didn't we? He's not run a race this year. He's got 1 race victory to his name last year on home soil in Japan. Maybe he's thinking, I've done what I can do. I don't want to hold anyone up any longer. I just want to go and win this race, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the championship goes to tomorrow. But it's not as things stand.
Just less than 2 laps remaining, just over a lap remaining. Ikegami has a 6/10 of a second lead. I tell you what, Ogiwara is trying to win this, isn't he? He is latching back on. I've got to say, it did cross my mind that Ikegami knows Ogiwara can't turn down the possibility of victory. We saw that in Mandalika. It ended in the gravel there, and that doesn't matter if it happens this time around for Ogiwara, because he will be champion if he does do something like that. Well, then it would open a whole can of worms. We're on to the last lap of race 1 here in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup from Sepang, our second visit here in 2025. Seiryu Ikegami is riding an absolutely perfect race at the moment. Is it too perfect? Because Ryota Ogiwara, as it stands, is in a title-winning position. I remind you, even if it is 25 points and Ogiwara doesn't finish tomorrow and Ikegami was to win, it would be tied, but it would go on count back to the way of Ryota Ogiwara, who has had 8 magnificent victories in this 2025 title race. I tell you what, El, Ikegami's not slowing up at all here. I think he wants to get his first win of the season on the board, but does it come at a cost of not being in that title fight on the final day of racing tomorrow?
Yeah, that horse has bolted at the front, hasn't it? Ikegami should go on to win this race quite comfortably, but that means he's not going to win the championship as things stand. Dakigan can do Ikegami a real huge favour here, but he's not close enough to make a move. Less than, well, 4 kilometres to go now. Ogiwara has the championship in his sights.
He does have it in his sights, and he can just stroke this one home, can't he? We're coming down out of turn 8. This is down into that heavy braking area of turn 9. One mistake from Ogiwara, and Dakigan is going to be able to take advantage. I just wonder if Dakigan himself is just looking at taking a 3rd podium on the spin and not getting involved in this title fight here. I don't know, if I was Dakigan, I'd be looking at trying to get P2 rather than P3, but then again, he's playing for P3 overall in the title, and that is something he would have over Shingo Hidaka, who, if you are just joining us, he's out of it. He was taken out by Rody Page on lap 1. We're coming through turn 12 down in this dip, uphill to 13 and then into 14. And we are going to be coming through. Looks like Ikigami is going to take this victory, but the 16 of Ogiwara is going to take the title.
Certainly is. One corner to go then for Ogiwara. The championship well and truly firmly in his hands. One corner to go, turn 15. Dakigan isn't close enough. Ikigami might win, but he's not going to win the championship. That's he's going to the 16.
It's all about keeping it tiddly tidy and smooth through here. Sergio Ikigami, a first win of 2025 is long overdue, and he is going to do it here at Sepang. But all eyes are going to be on P2 for Ryota Ogiwara, who does indeed take the 2025 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup crown and is the champion for this season. He is the latest name to sign himself into the history books. And what a season it has been. 8 wins, he is back on the podium. He may have given up today to Seiyu Ikigami, but it is Ryota Ogiwara's season. And what a fine season it has been. The number 16 has conquered the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Ryota Ogiwara. A near perfect season. The only blip really coming with that pretty big mistake over Indonesia, but he's responded so well to that, and he had put himself in a position where he could win it before the final race of the season. The congratulations will begin to pour in. The celebrations do begin for the Japanese star, and it's a well-deserved title victory as well. The third time of asking, he finished third in 2023, second in 2024, and now it is P1 overall for Ogiwara.
And it has been a magnificent season, it really has, right the way through, up until that blip, as you say, over in Indonesia. But now he can relax. Ryota Ogiwara has done it. He has done it the easy way, it's got to be said. Today he did it the smart way, and he does have that very, very nice special crash helmet to go with it, and that is going to be perched very nicely in his own Hall of Fame at home. And Ryota Ogiwara, well, it's just the latest name in a raft of talent coming from Asia. That is exactly the point of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. You can see there the photographers are down there already getting those first emotions, and this will be one of his most memorable days for Ryota Ogiwara. He has been flawless almost throughout 2025. Just to go back through everyone behind him, Alphonse Dakigan makes it 3 podiums in a row. Matsuyama 4th ahead of Bumperway, 6th for Pranata from that 3rd row of the grid ahead of Thierry Fleming. Archie Schmidt comes from 12th up to 4th. Davino Brittani in the top 10 again, and from the back, Shaf Maurice completes the top 10. Hotte in 11th place, knocking on the door of that first top 10 of the season ahead of our returning Sarthak Chavan. Kim Min Jae for South Korea taking 13th place, 14th for Prataptong, and Adam Daniel gets a point for 15th. But the celebrations begin for Ryota Ogiwara. We love a special crash helmet. He's got the bib, and there are going to be some tears of joy when he rolls into Park Ferme.
Yeah, dream come true. It's only the beginning of the road to MotoGP, but we've had so many great winners of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, have we? Of course, the 2022 title winner, Hakim Denish, is confirmed to be on the grid full-time in Moto3 in 2026. So a brilliant day all round for the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. A new champion crowned, an older champion confirmed to be in Moto3. This series, this Talent Cup just keeps on giving, and as we focus in on the race winner Seiyu Ikigami, it's commiserations in terms of not winning the title. It's been a phenomenal year for Ikigami. I think with the fist bump over the line, he really just wanted that win, and yes, he conceded potentially the championship, but take nothing away from the number 14. He has been a real star this season in his second attempt in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, and you can see just how happy he is to finally get that victory under his belt in 2025. You can tell that has been eating away at him all season long. Finished second to Ogiwara in every single race up until Indonesia, then finished second again to Dakigan. He must have been thinking, what have I got to do to win? But finally, here in Malaysia, the final round, penultimate race, he has done exactly that.
Indeed, and he can rest easy tonight, and it's only fitting, I think, that those two have a good old head-to-head. It's all sorted out. The top 3 in the title are exactly all locked in now. It is going to be Ogiwara from Ikigami, from Dakigan, ahead of Bumperway. There is 26 points between them. The battle now is for 4th, actually. Bumperway versus Matsuyama and Hidaka, the 2 Japanese riders there, on the same amount of points, but really really. That is for fourth, and that is going to be a conversation for tomorrow. Well done, Seiyu Ikegami. You are an ATC race winner once again. This time it is in Sepang. Last time it was at Motegi. The smile is back on his face. It has been missing a few times, and I think he was getting sick of going directly to that second spot on the podium. And he doesn't need to today. He is today's king, but he does give up that title fight.
Yeah, you know what, fair play to Ikegami. He did what he could in the middle part of the race, got other riders involved in that championship battle, but wasn't dirty, wasn't doing anything he shouldn't do, just some clever tactics at play, let's say. And then when he decided, enough's enough, I want to go on and win this race, what will be behind me. If the championship goes to tomorrow, so be it. It didn't in the end, but fair play to Ikegami. He has got that victory in 2025, and look at that smile. We saw tears, we've seen so many sad faces of Ikegami on the podium throughout this season, so that is brilliant to see. A beaming smile on the Japanese rider's face.
Ogiwara is going to come down pit lane in just a moment. He's a Talent Cup champion. As you can see, the bib is already being donned with that special helmet, and there will be a massive round of applause. The marshals come out to meet him. Ryota Ogiwara is the new king of the castle in the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. The marshals and are there applauding his efforts. It has been a memorable season for sure, and now he will stand on the pegs, and Ryota Ogiwara gets a hero's welcome, and as cool as you like, that #1 special helmet, special visor with the gold, of course, very fitting for what has been such a golden season.
It certainly has, and obviously to do it with a podium is fantastic. He deep down would have wanted to win, of course, but he does not care one iota after that one, and I'm pretty sure that is a Tatsuki Suzuki replica helmet. I might be wrong, or is it just a special helmet design, very Japanese, of course. It looks similar to Tatsuki Suzuki. Maybe that's a hero of Ryota Ogiwara's, but it is a special helmet nonetheless, and in true Japanese style, very, very nice indeed.
Yeah, very gorgeous. That is a real collector's item. I'm sure it'll be coming to a store near you somewhere in Japan. I wonder if we're just going to get a nice handshake between your winner Seiyu Ikegami and Ryota Ogiwara in a moment's time. They have been title rivals all the way through 2025, but you know, at the end of the day, one rider has to win, and today, at least on the road, it was Ikegami. But your title winner, your new Asia Talent Cup champion, is Ryota Ogiwara. It'll be interesting to see where we find them both next year, of course. We've already had the selected and well, the selection event, and we get to see who is selected and who is not. I can tell you someone who isn't selected and is a reserve rider at the moment is Bintang Pranata. He'll be looking to try and convert that if he can get on the podium later on. But this was the big battle earlier in the race. Ikegami, he knew he had to win it, and he did so, but maybe just bolting too soon. And in the end, yes, he gets the victory, and it was always going to be an uphill struggle for him with a 30-point deficit and just 2 races remaining. Gets the win, but Ogiwara's the title winner.
Yeah, exactly that. I do think coming into this weekend, Ikegami deep down would have known that unless Ogiwara would have crashed, it would have been a mightily difficult task to topple the number 16. And in the end, this was, I believe, the the championship winning overtake down at turn 1 with a couple of laps to go, up the inside of Alfonsi Dakigan, and then Ogiwara didn't put a foot wrong from there. The final laps were absolutely brilliant, by the way. A 2:17.2 from Ikegami would have put him on pole position, and that's into 10 laps of this race. So fair play to Ikegami, demonstrated that he has superiority around this Petronas Sepang International Circuit. The plaudits will go to him in terms of the race win, but the overall plaudits will go to Ryota Ogiwara. They are just starting their journeys on the road to MotoGP.
Indeed they are, and I can tell you, look who it is. It is our first look at Ryota Ogiwara as our 2025 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup champion. Let's get his first thoughts.
Ryota, congratulations, you are the 2025 Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup champion. Tell me, how are you feeling after this incredible achievement?
Yeah, of course, I'm super happy to this champion. Yes, this is really long way for me. I ride 3 years in ATC. Finally, I get champion. Fantastic.
Ryota, you deserve it, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you so much.
Ryota Ogiwara there talking to our very own Oliver Seeley. Thank you to both of them. I think he's just a little bit lost for words perhaps for Ryota Ogiwara, but I'm sure he'll find them. Let's have a look at some of his best moments. Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. We've got a class of 2025 to remember. Ogiwara is in second place, keep an eye on him, middle of that front row. He was the runner-up last year, so keep an eye and see what that 16-year-old Japanese rider can do.
Oh, Ryota Ogiwara, how has he managed to keep the bike under control?
Oh, moment for Ogiwara on exit, and that will have caught Ikegami's eye. He cannot be overtaken. Ryota Ogiwara doubles up at the destination of speed. Asia Talent Cup 2025 goes to Ryota Ogiwara. Tell you the voices have been a little bit edited there, I think, but to great effect. Well done, Ryota Ogiwara. We are going to have a little look at the race results in just a moment, I'm sure. We're not just giving you a close-up of the curb. There they are. Seiryu Ikegami taking victory by 1.2 seconds. Of course it's 1.2 seconds when he really didn't need to do it by that much, but Ryota Ogiwara, I think, rolled out of it just in the end. It's another Japan 1-2, that's not a surprise. Alphonse Dakigan for the Philippines in third. Matsuyama, Bumproi, Panata, Fleming, Schmidt and Brittani. Thailand, Indonesia and Australia represented right the way through the top 9. And Malaysia's very own Shaf Muriz putting on a fantastic show at home ahead of the Vietnamese rider Hu Tae. Then it is Sarthak Chavan from India, Kim Min Jae from South Korea, Pratham Tong for Thailand, and another Malaysian in the points, Adam Daniel, getting one right there. Just ahead of Alvaro Mahendra for Indonesia. Shen Shiyu, our female rider from China. Bodhi Page, Shingo Hidaka and Nelson Cairoli out of action. Ogiwara, there it is, in black and white, is your 2025 champion. 25 points ahead of Seiryu Ikegami. Dakigan there in third is also confirmed. The battle is for fourth. No bump away, just 5 ahead of Haruki Matsuyama and Shingo Hidaka. But that could have had a very different complexion on it had Hidaka not been taken out by Bodhi Page. All the way up into the top 10, Davina Brittani's uptick in form of recent rounds sees him bear the fruits of his hard work. Just ahead of Tanachap, Pratham Tong, Pancharuk, Chit Wirral Chat there in 12th is not out there this weekend. Sarthak Chavan moving up a couple of positions on his return. Ahead of Bodhi Page and Nelson Cairoli. We are going down onto the third page, and I can tell you there's a few more as well after this. Don't forget Kensai Matsudaira, what a performance it was from him over in Japan. He's got points on the board, 27 point scorers in all, and that is just so far. Of course, more tomorrow. And now back live for the podium ceremony, and it will be, firstly, our podium will be the race podium, and I'm fairly sure we will get a champion's podium on his own for Ryota Ogiwara. But Dakigan, Ogiwara and Ikegami is the top 3 of recent rounds, and it is definitely the top 2, Ikegami and Ogiwara, in reverse order of what has been a memorable 2025.
Certainly has been, yeah, fair play to the top 2 in this race and in the championship, of course, as well. Alphonse Dakigan comes to the podium, takes up P3 spot. That's 3 podiums in a row now after his dream double over in Indonesia a few weeks ago. So Alphonse Dakigan, after a fairly consistent season, but stood on the podium for the first time at the last round, has really got a taste for it now. And talking of a taste for it, here he is, Ryota Ogiwara, your champion from 2025. He's not used to standing on that second step of the podium, but he won't care.
Yeah, anyone got a sat-nav for him, maybe, perhaps? No, he's got there in the end. There's Elia Trujillo getting all the social content for us over at the Asia Talent Cup. She's up there on the podium. We are going to get the trophies in just a moment. I don't think we have the national anthem just yet. We should be getting the race trophies. Indeed, we are. This will be for P3. Suzo Kano, Idemitsu Kosan is heading out and handing out the P3 trophy for Alphonse Dakigan. He's got a couple of podium trophies, winners' trophies from Mandalika last time out. Ryota Ogiwara, well, he's going to get another trophy at the end of all of this. He gets that P2 in race 1. That is a real collector's item as far as 2025 goes for young Ryota. And then in P1 at long last. He is going to get one that's golden, and it is Seiyu Ikegami, who it's been a long wait for his return to winning ways, but he does add to his previous tally with a first of 2025, and he has a nice long smile as well. We haven't seen that for a while. National anthem time, of course it is the Japanese national anthem for our winner, Seiyu Ikegami. What a fine job it was from Seiyu Ikegami. Ryota Ogiwara, your new champion for 2025, adds his name to a long list of title winners. And Alphonse Dakigan, well, he is going to be a star to be reckoned with in the future. They're all going to get together for a quick photo. Before we do go off air, what a race that was. What a fine victory it was from Seiyu Ikegami. The title is done. Lots to look forward to in race 2 tomorrow. Early doors for us, though. 9:35 live on air.
It is an early start, but looking forward to it. A great way to start Grand Prix Sunday here in Malaysia. Curtain closer, of course, for Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, but looking forward to it. The gloves will be off. It's all about who can win that race, who can stand on the podium. No title pressure, just all out for victory.
It is going to be all out for victory. It's going to be all out in the comms box as well. So you can join us there. 9:35 local time, 9:45 lights out. The finale to Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup action coming up tomorrow. Stay tuned here at Sepang. Grand Prix Sunday awaits.